Daphne, thank you for getting us started this week. This is an extremely interesting topic, and I think we're starting to get into the meat of the course in how social media and social communication can be an effective means of evangelization, while at the same time we have to be careful about the negative effects of using this type of communication. And I think that Father Rizika brings that home in his talk, where he talks about it's inevitable that we will be using this type of communication in our ministry, but we have to remember, as you point out, that spreading the faith or evangelization is not about a philosophy or a doctrine or a dogma. It's about an encounter with Jesus, and that encounter involves understanding the individual with whom we're communicating and communicating with them effectively. And Pope Francis brings this out in his Angelus talk, which is part of our readings for this week, where he talks about the benefits of social communication and how we should be using social communication in our ministry, quoting from St. Ignatius from antiquity, who said, we need to walk as fast as the pilgrims walk, which means meeting the people where they are. And if they are on social media, we need to meet them there. Our goal is to understand how to enter into a dialogue with the people with whom we're working, and that's from Pope Francis. He talks about that goal being meeting the needs, the hopes, the desires, the doubts of those with whom we're communicating, and bringing a true encounter with Christ to them. And he thinks that it can be done, and if he thinks it can be done, then it's good enough for me. He also talks about the challenge of using social communication. And I want to quote exactly what he said, because I think it's very profound. He says, "This is the challenge, to bring about the encounter with Christ into the full knowledge, though that we ourselves are means of communication, and that the fundamental problem is not the acquisition of the latest technologies, although they are necessary to a valid contemporary presence. It is necessary to be absolutely clear that the God in whom we believe, who loves all men and women intensely, wants to reveal himself through the means at our disposal, however poor they are, because it is he who is at work, he who transforms, and he who saves." So that I think that throughout our communication, whenever we communicate, we need to continue to stress that even though the means of communication may have problems, may contribute to issues with the recipients, I think as long as we are communicating, it's God who loves, God who transforms, and God who saves, and that we are attempting to communicate the message of Jesus, we will hopefully instill in our recipients and those to whom we are communicating that sense that the pilgrims on the road to Emmaus felt, where they encountered the risen Christ, and they were burning. They had a burning feeling in their heart because they knew that they had encountered the truth. I think as long as we use social communication in that way, we will be on the right road. Thanks again, and God bless.